Thank you. Finally, today I'd like to ask Councilman Winston to come back, and those who are here in recognition of Angela Hinman and Margaret Streikhauser to come forward and join us up.
All right, everyone. It's our last proclamation of the day, but this one is very special for me as I get to honor a good friend and my neighbor who lives across the street from me. But for a long time, I had actually no idea what Margaret did for a living. I had a family member who actually flew into Atlanta and said that she was going to a birthing center conference to come see this world-renowned midwife in Atlanta. And I asked her, I was like, so who are you going to see? She said, Margaret Streikhauser. I said, Margaret? Across the street? I had no idea it was Margaret. But I'm excited today to be here to present a proclamation to Margaret, my good friend, and also Anjali Hinman, co-founders of the Atlanta Birth Center today. Just thankful for everything that they've done in terms of because of mental health and maternity health here in the city of Atlanta. It's something that is very needed and something that has been so special. You've given birth or helped give birth to over 5,000 kids in the city. So that is something that, just say that again, 5,000, y'all, 5,000. And so just honored to be here today. So I'm going to read proclamations first. In recognition of Anjali Hinman, whereas the Atlanta City Council proudly recognizes Anjali, co-founder of Atlanta Birth Center, for her steadfast commitment to maternal and child health and her leadership in expanding equitable, compassionate care for families across Atlanta. And whereas Anjali earned dual degrees in biology and women's studies from the University of Michigan and a Master of Public Health from Boston University, focusing on maternal and child health and community-based health care. And whereas she went on to earn her nurse midwifery, and family nurse practitioner degree from Emory University, where she was a Woodruff Fellow. She has remained active in advocacy, education, and public health ever since. And whereas Anjali has served communities locally and globally, from midwifery and water birth care in Metro Atlanta hospitals to medical missions abroad, and has been an active advocate for healthcare equity at this Georgia Capitol and beyond. And whereas Anjali's leadership extends beyond clinical care, she has served on the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation's initiative on the future of nursing at the Institute of Medicine, co-authored its landmark report, and continues to inspire others as a proud mother of 3 children. Now therefore be proclaimed that we, the members of the Atlanta City Council, on behalf of the citizens of Atlanta, do hereby recognize Anjali Hinman on the 5th day of May, 2025, for her visionary leadership and lifelong service to maternal and family health in Atlanta and beyond. So I'm going to present you with yours first. And now one more. In recognition of Margaret Streikhauser, whereas the Atlanta City Council proudly recognizes Margaret Streikhauser, co-founder of the Atlanta Birth Center, who has dedicated more than 40 years to advocating for the health and well-being of patients and as a nurse midwife. And whereas born in Charlotte, North Carolina, Margaret's passion for helping others began in high school as a candy striper. She later pursued a career in nursing, earning her bachelor's degree in 1967 from St. Andrew's Presbyterian College and Presbyterian Hospital School of Nursing. And whereas Margaret earned a master's degree in maternal and child health from Emory University and worked at Grady Memorial Hospital and Holy Family Hospital, where she sensed her calling to deliver babies, leading her to become a certified midwife. And whereas she joined Atlanta's first midwifery practice in 1978 and became one of the first to offer water birth in Metro Atlanta in 1999, helping countless families in the community. And whereas Margaret has delivered more than 5,000 healthy babies, changing lives and making a lasting impact on families in Atlanta. And whereas outside of her professional work, Margaret enjoys wellness practices, gardening, and volunteering with organizations that train service dogs for individuals with disabilities. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the members of the Atlanta City Council, on behalf of the citizens of Atlanta, do hereby recognize Margaret Streekhauser on the 5th day of May, 2025, for her unwavering service, dedication, and impact on maternal and child health in Atlanta. Congratulations. So congratulations to you both. Thank you so much. We know that you all had to deal with so much given the closing of the Atlanta Medical Center. Now you have a new location, correct? And so just excited that you're able to continue doing that work. Maternal health is so important. As the father of 2 young girls, I understand what it means when you have a plan or someone to actually take care of it that listens. And I think that's part of what it's all about. So many people go into actually going into having a baby and they have a plan. A lot of people don't listen to them. And it takes people that care and are compassionate about that process. And so I just want to say thank you to you both so much for caring. Thank you to all those who help make this happen on a regular basis. And so I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Councilmember Collier Overstreet.
Thank you, Councilmember Winston. I just wanted to make sure that I said congratulations to you two and the entire Atlanta Birth Center. As you all know, my husband was your first medical director, starting in 2016. And so you all have really changed the landscape in the city of Atlanta on the way we actually cradle and take care of our women. And that is no easy feat. I'm very proud of the work that you all have done. He was a proud member to be on your team. And Atlanta Medical Center closing really did change a lot of things, but what it cannot change is the way you all are still delivering here in the city of Atlanta for all kinds of options for women as they go through childbirth and after, because I know for sure that Melanie actually does therapy, in postpartum, correct? And that's huge. So the fact that you all take care of the women the way that you do, whatever I can do to help you, the Overstreet family will always be connected to you. Anjali, you in particular, I know your voice. I've heard it through the years on speakerphone. And so it's really a pleasure to have you here at City Hall. I wish you were in our beautiful setting of our council chamber, but this will have to do for this time. And I'm just happy to be here to celebrate with you all. And I want my own photo. Because this is for Dr. Alfonso Overstreet Jr. You too. Get in here.
That's a group photo. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Got it.
Turn it over to Councilmember Bond.
Well, I just want to say quickly that you all are doing God's work. We all know that infant mortality is the highest in the South, the highest in Georgia. What you all continue to do is more than just a labor of love. It is a ministry to the people, to the women, to the families that you help and you aid. And so this is not enough, but this is what we can do to honor you, to kind of highlight that. And of course, we love and respect you, and we appreciate everything you do. And there are probably dozens of little squunchies that probably never can say thank you. We have the mind to say thank you, but in their stead, we will say thank you.
I'm going to turn it over to Margaret Streekhauser.
So on my journey to become a midwife, I worked as a nurse at Holy Family Hospital, and I was helped Andrew Young and his wife Jean Welker, their son. Yeah, so that was where I got my calling to go to midwife, was my work at Holy Family, and it was a special place. So anyway.
Well, and my 3 kids were one of the thousands of babies that Margaret helped bring into the world. And, when Margaret, she's been working as a midwife for decades, and I can only hope to aspire to be like she is at my retirement one day. Mom, thank you so much, by the way. Happy birthday. But I think it's really amazing that there's even the opportunity to acknowledge midwives. You know, here in Atlanta, here across our state of Georgia, around the country, around the world. Today is International Day of the Midwife. And ever since they were being born, right? There were midwives helping them be born. And so we do consider it our ministry to really, you know, show up every day, no matter how hard the work is, because we know that people deserve to be born into love, you know, to have equity, to have access, and to have the potential that all the other people that stood up before us have, that everybody deserves that. So thank you to everybody who's standing up here with us, and let's keep going, let's keep pushing, as Margaret always said.
Yes, today's International Day of the Midwife, and so it's an appropriate day to express gratitude to the founders of the Birth Center. Atlanta Birth Center cares for over 500 families in Atlanta every year. We are one of only 3 birth centers in the whole state of Georgia, and the only one in the city of Atlanta. And so just gratitude to the City Council for honoring us today, and hopeful that we will continue to be supported in our important work. Thank you so much. Councilperson Winston, and all the other members of the City Council for honoring us today.
Again, just want to thank you all. Stephanie, this wouldn't have happened without us having a conversation about honoring Anjali and Margaret. And so Melody, good friend, her and her husband Brian. And Brian's grandfather was John Calhoun, who was the first council person in District 1. So also just thank them for their family for all they do for the city of Atlanta. So just thank you all again. Margaret, it's been so special to be able to honor you. Just a quick story about my wife and I. Our first pregnancy ended early, and so Margaret was literally the first person we saw when we got home, devastated. And she had nothing but encouraging words to say to me and wife. And she would, in a number of words, she said, "Get back in the game." And we now have 2 beautiful daughters that she gets to see on a regular basis. And so thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Anjali. Thank you, all of you, for what you do. And so again, we just appreciate you being here.
We'll take one more group photo. Y'all stand back. Ready? And 3, 2, 1. One time. 3, 2, 1. Got it.
Thank you all. Next we'll move to remarks from the public. Just as a reminder, you'll be given 2 minutes to speak unless you've been yielded time. You can't yield time, but the microphone has to be on the list. First up, we'll have Henry Jordan today. You have 2 minutes.
And I just pray to God, everyone that's here. He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. Psalm 101, chapter 7, verse. The ideal king sing to the Lord. Keep his personal life pure and ministers social justice. The Lord wanting not be proud about what he says. Jesus said to give him glory for what he has done through me. You told Jesus that he didn't do the work through me. And Christ's assignment is to work with the homeless calling on Jesus. Receive us, we have wronged no man. We have corrupted no man. We defrauded no man. 2 Corinthians chapter 2nd verse. I cannot work your job because of your practices on your job. Work that goes against his word. The gift given to help people to live holy and the protection of his people. Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. Psalm 62, chapter 10, verse. At least 5 nouns describe God's protection: rock, salvation, glory, and refuge. When you practice oppression, you are asking for the enemy to oppress you. James Swift, oppression produces oppression. The thief cometh not but for to steal, to kill, and destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. St. John 10:10. Good shepherd. When Jesus uses this terminology, thoughtful Jews remember Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. And even understand Jesus' claim to be God. I seek to warn you to take heed to God's warning of Jesus that will lead to death, hell, and destruction. When you seek to kill, you ask to be killed.
Thanks.
We need Christ here. Our flesh can't do it by itself.
Next will be Jennifer Brooks. We'll have up to 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for your ongoing commitment to the city and its people. I can only imagine the demands that are made of you every single day, including from me. Thank you for hearing me and for your patience with me. I want to just mention a little about a troublesome culture of community engagement. It's a culture of absent or selective stakeholder engagement that relies largely on special interest groups and consultants that often neglect the specific stakeholders who are most directly impacted. I'll just point out in February the legislation that passed that even had written into it the requirement not to engage NPUs that surrounding what was then Westside Park. It's not really surprising because the precedent has been set for absent or flawed engagement. Look at Baker Street, Atlanta Streets Alive, Shared Peachtree, and now the Stitch. So if you look at the 927-page master plan, there are renderings of what those improvements are going to be that include 8 miles of streetscape, including Peachtree Street. And who along that corridor actually knows about this? It's deep in that report. Common to many projects, we see tactical urbanism consultants and special interest groups taking the lead. They collect the data, they analyze it and report it. And it tends often to mislead the public, the city staffers, and yourselves. As you know, I trust you all with custodianship of the public right-of-way in my own neighborhood, which is the Central Business and Hospitality District. And for me, it's really important that all of these public right-of-ways be shared appropriately and carefully in respect of all the users. Thank you.
Next will be Stephen Muhammad. We'll have up to 2 minutes.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Council, for allowing me to be here. Right now, we have an issue that we are dealing with, Divine City Civic Association. I'm here today representing Archbishop John H. Lewis, who is the President and CEO of Divine City Civic Association. What we're here today to speak of is that the power substation that Georgia Power is proposing to put into the Vine City area. We know that they did something similar in the Howell Mill Station, and Georgia Power does not seem to respect the stakeholders. They have a history of disrespecting the stakeholders, and we don't want to make it a racial issue, but it seems like environmental racism to us. But I want to say that we're here in this room today, old council chambers. There are 32 windows in this building. It takes 33 degrees to be above freezing and not be frozen out. In this council chambers, a lot of decisions were made to freeze out the black community in the 50s and 60s, putting up big roadblocks on pavement and other things. So we're hoping today that our councilman for District 3 Byron Layton, who's been quietly fighting to mitigate this situation, that he can get some support to stop Georgia Power from doing what they're doing. We know it seems like everything with the name Georgia seems to go against the city of Atlanta. I think the Georgia State Patrol runs through the city and have wrecks and kill people. I think the Georgia Power is polluting the neighborhood and trying to kill people. So we need help. We need your support. Tomorrow night we have a town hall meeting at 7 o'clock at the old historic West Hunter Street Baptist Church for the people to discuss what it is that they would like to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next will be George Weedman. You'll have up to 2 minutes.
Hello. My name is George Weedman, lifetime resident of Atlanta, longtime resident of the Landmark Condominiums for about 15 years now. I specifically wanted to say hi to Michael Julian Bond and ask if he might actually recognize me from a few trips I made to the HelloFresh food giveaways last year. Because I'm going to be back. I'm going to see you again Wednesday at the church for the HelloFresh. Because I cannot pay these monthly HOA bills and go grocery shopping at the same time. And I want you to remember that when handing out those HelloFresh boxes, for all the various reasons that a actively working, white-collar, office job, sober, educated professional might end up experiencing food insecurity and rely on food charity is having to pay the bills associated with home ownership for this home particularly, for this month particularly. Us homeowners are being expected to pay this month for something we never voted on and may have actually voted against a month earlier, a very, very large bill in addition to some recently spiked up very large monthly bills. The massive 4-digit total number these bills are adding up to is the kind of number you never see associated with the normal personal expenses of someone's normal, ordinary home. It's the kind of number you usually see associated with operating a business. Now, the STR short-term rental issue is all about commercial businesses exploiting residential zones for profit, and they are. Consider that on all the paperwork on the deed I signed up for to buy my home, it did not say that I was actually signing up to buy a hotel business and effectively share in a hotel's costs, liabilities, and losses. And honestly, big exorbitant bills are still not the worst problem we're dealing with. Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Andrew Derby. Due to yield the time, you'll have up to 4 minutes.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. My name is Andrew Derby. I've been in Atlanta for over 50 years. My children have been born here. I went to school here. I'm a business owner, a property owner, and also a taxpayer. But primarily I'm here today to speak before you on behalf of my role as legal counsel and director of real estate for Habitat for Humanity in Atlanta. We are the region's largest affordable home builder. We're also the entity that the city of Atlanta has acquired over the last few years over 60 acres of forested land. And the reason I'm speaking to you is because of the upcoming tree ordinance that was released last week. I'd like to share a few words from our CEO and President, Rosalind Merrick, who sent a letter to the mayor and the members of the city council. Atlanta Habitat supports many of the proposed provisions in the draft ordinance and appreciates your willingness to engage with stakeholders throughout the process. We write today to clarify and reinforce our position on specific elements and to elevate a significant concern related to the conservation area requirements for new developments. We are challenged by conservation areas, as defined in the revised ordinance. Mandating them uniformly across all development types, including affordable home ownership projects, would be devastating to Atlanta Habitat's mission. In many cases, such a requirement could make future habitat development unviable and infeasible. We regretfully urge the city to evaluate this provision throughout the lens of housing equity, feasibility, and workforce affordability. If applied today, the proposed tree ordinance would dramatically reduce the scale and viability of our flagship development, Browns Mill Village. This thoughtfully planned community, originally designed for 138 homes, would be reduced to just 81 homes under the proposed requirements. The financial impact would be equally severe, driving the cost per lot to $79,000, well beyond our capability to serve families earning between 30 and 80% AMI, that's average median income. We again address some of the lowest homeowners in that band. Just down the road, Springside Place, another development, would be reduced to 40%. And we deeply value Atlanta's identity as the city in the trees, but we must also ask who will be able to live beneath them. As it stands, proposed ordinance threatens to preserve trees at the expense of people. Without greater flexibility, affordable homeownership in Atlanta could be incredibly out of reach, jeopardizing Atlanta Habitat's ability to continue building in the city. We are grateful for the opportunity to participate in important dialogue in this area, but remain hopeful that a balanced ordinance can be achieved, one that protects Atlanta's natural heritage while supporting its residents' right to obtain affordable housing. Thank you.
Next will be Valerie Anderson. Due to yielded time, you'll have up to 8 minutes.
Hi, how are you? I just wanted to know how it was going as far as us meeting the DA and the letter, stuff like that. Just checking in on that. How was that going?
I was very much to reach out to the district attorney's office to get on her calendar.
Okay.
And so we're waiting to hear a response from her office.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Sunday, which would be Mother's Day, May 11th, would be my son's birthday. My son would have turned 39 this Sunday, which is Mother's Day. And that's not going to happen. What is not going to happen is my son giving me a hug. Me hugging my son. My son wishing me a happy Mother's Day and telling me he loves me. And me kissing my son and telling him I love him. None of that is going to happen. Because my son is gone. 5/11/86, I gave birth to my son, LeVron Anderson Jr. And now 5/11/2025, I'm keeping a celebration of life for my son that murdering Melvin Potter took from me, shot and killed my son August 5th, 2024. I miss my son, and I love my son. And this is not justice, that my son is not here because he was killed by murdering Melvin Potter, a lawless drunk. Where is the justice? And a police officer who was on probation when he murdered my son. I am going to stress this every time that Melvin Potter was on probation when he murdered my son. And I want to address something else also. That I've met a lot of people who seems to be more interested in the job title that has power, title. I don't care about your title, position, or power. I'm not interested in that at all. You know why? Because you all could retire, you all could resign, you all could get forced out. But my power, my title, and my position is mother. Mother, which I am very proud of. And especially because I have the love and respect for my kids. I have that. So I can't resign or retire from being my kid's mother. And I don't ever want to talk to my son from me. He's always going to be my son. Even when I'm dead and gone, he's always going to be my son. And I'm always going to be his mother. No matter what, I'm always going to be his mother. And I'm not going to stop fighting for my son. Like I've always said, I am going to show up and be present. And I'm going to get justice for my son, no matter how long it takes. APD is doing a lousy job at policing their own. They're doing a lousy job. And to me, Dickens, the last time we spoke was January 6th. You was gracious enough to talk to me when I walked up on you. You said to me you was going to call me, and you did. You did. But you also said, since you have my phone number, you would stay in touch with me. So it's about time for a call from you. Because my son should be here. I should be having a celebration of life for my son. My son would be 39. My son didn't have a chance to have kids. My son didn't have a chance to get married. And these are the things that he wanted to do. So I was robbed of all that. I sit here and I saw all those young men, doing good. What happened if one of those young men, the basketball team, the young actor, encounter a drunk police officer? Not knowing what he's doing and kill one of those kids. Get arrested and post a $1,000 bond and go home because he refused to take a blood test. What would happen to one of those young men? The mother would feel the same way I would feel. The mayor said the new recruits will be going into a state-of-the-art facility in Camp City. What's going to happen? They're going to take the old drunks and put them over there to learn new tricks. That's what they're going to do. Because it's a crisis right now with these drunken officers. And they still have a job. Melvin Carter should not have a job. Why? Because he was on probation when he murdered my son. And I'm going to say that and take every being in me. Melvin Carter's supposed to be in jail. He murdered my son August 5th, 2024, and his probation wasn't up until November 17th of 2024. So again, APD have to do better. They have to do better. And like I've always said, and I'm going to say until I'm tired on the ground rolling over, I am not going anywhere until I get justice for Devon S. Anderson Jr. This is my baby. This is my Mother's Day baby. That is gone.
Chiefs. You have up to 2 minutes.
Got one over there.
My name is James Cheese. I'm a home builder in the city of Atlanta. I've been building for quite some time, and I'm here to speak just very briefly on the current draft of the tree protection ordinance. I know it's not coming up today, but it just remains to be an issue that needs to be discussed. So the staff has done a very difficult job, worked on a very difficult project, but the affordable housing waivers, the terms keep changing, don't work for the type of projects that we build. We build a lot of single-family, affordable, non-subsidized housing. And the way the court ordinance is currently drafted, we wouldn't get any of the waivers for it, number one. Number two, I have been involved in this particular issue personally for about 7 years, and I know others have been in it longer. We got this second draft last week, and to have this ordinance be voted on in the short term would be dangerous and very bad public policy. This is an incredibly difficult issue, and we need more time to go over this particular ordinance. And finally, while I build housing less than 100% AMI more often than not, the current ordinance says that 120% AMI 3-bedroom house is a 20%. I'm sorry, a 120% AMI 3-bedroom house is $402,000. Again, not the kind of projects that I build. This ordinance would require me to pay 800% increase, even for a $400,000 house.
Next up is Kevin Norton. You'll have up to 2 minutes.
Before I begin, Council President, is it somebody behind me that could yield their time? Okay. All right. Good afternoon, council members. My name is Kevin Gordon. I'm here today to also discuss the tree protection ordinance. I'm Senior Vice President of Land Development at Empire Communities, one of the largest for-sale townhome builders in the city of Atlanta. I'm also a licensed civil engineer and serve on the board of the Council for Quality Growth, representing over 300 companies and 2,000 industry professionals active in the city of Atlanta. I've spent 30 years of my career working through codes, permits, and site design, 18 years as a consulting engineer, and the last 13 as a residential developer. I participated in the CPO, or the city's TPO working group over the last year, and just last week, the ordinance grew from 64 pages to 89 pages. It is overly complex, difficult to interpret, and nearly impossible to implement at this scale. This is the current city's ordinance, 39 pages. This is what's being proposed right now, 89 pages, 50 pages more of code in that ordinance. This is not balanced policy. It is a sweeping rewrite with major unintended consequences affecting residential, apartments, restaurants, retail stores, offices, industrial, everything. It covers all asset classes now. The tree canopy has declined 1.8% since 2008, according to the studies that have been completed. The current tree protection ordinance was recently referred to in an article as the Atlanta Clear Cutting Ordinance, but I would argue that the current tree protection ordinance works under the enforcement of the city arborist, keeping us at 1.8% canopy. Thank you for your time.
That's just a 30-second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just as a reminder, the first bell is 30 seconds, the final bell is of time.
All right, I'll get it.
30 seconds.
Thank you, sir. So, a complete overhaul is unnecessary. The data does not support the claim that the current ordinance is broken. As an engineering developer, I recognize that development requires more than just clearing for a building footprint. The building footprint requires driveways, requires sidewalks, underground utilities, stormwater systems, equipment space for cranes, other utilities or other equipment to operate. And yes, lastly, we need an area to replant trees. There are above ground improvements that you see and many below ground that you don't see that affect development. The draft ordinance ignores those practical needs. Preservation zones on all sites would restrict us beyond what zoning already allows.
Time's expired.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Saba Longman. You'll have up to 4 minutes to do your time.
Hello, my name is Saba Logman. I was born in Atlanta, went to school on Roswell Road, went to Georgia Tech, live in Cabbagetown, and now have my own business here in Atlanta. For the past decade, I've focused on building more homes for people like myself, young professionals, couples, and people trying to put their roots in Atlanta. From East Atlanta to Buckhead, I've delivered for sale housing and home ownership that's walkable, thoughtful, and attainable, particularly for those who are priced out of single-family homes. The proposed tree ordinance is fundamentally flawed. It's restrictive, punishing, and economically unworkable. For the first time in 50 years, Atlanta's population is growing, and yet this ordinance would actively discourage new housing and growth during a housing shortage. We are not against trees. Again, we are not against trees, but the current ordinance does not offer any meaningful incentive to replant or grow the canopy. It only penalizes growth. Let me be specific. I've run case studies on multiple projects across the city. It would make 2 to 4 story projects economically impossible. An example, in Councilmember Lewis's district that we have, would lose 45 homes of 118 homes. This ordinance pits housing against trees. It penalizes the development without offering any meaningful incentive to replant or grow the canopy. It drives up land costs, it kills density, and halts the type of projects that Atlanta wants to make a livable and walkable place. This includes grocery stores, retails, banks, and offices. I'm sounding the alarm today. If this is written and passed, this ordinance will shut down housing creation across the city of Atlanta. We need a smarter approach, one that aligns the canopy goals with housing and growth goals. Thank you.
Next will be Michael Paris. You'll have up to 2 minutes.
Thank you. Mr. President, council members, I'm Michael Paris. I'm president and CEO of the Council of Public Growth. We represent over 300 companies in the building development industry here in the region and, of course, in the city of Atlanta. We have been working it, as Jim said, has involved. We've worked on this a lot of years. We've all put a lot of time into it. We had a great opportunity to work with partners and stakeholders. And every time we think we're closer, I know we must feel the same way. It feels like we're going the opposite direction. There is a way, there is a path forward, but we still have major concerns. And adding the commercial requirements that appeared in this last draft really changes the scope of everything we've been working on. I understand the necessity for some of that, but it's really changed the game, and we really need, again, more time to figure this out, because this has a long-lasting, we're going to make a decision, we may make a decision here that will affect how the city develops, how the city builds for 50 years, for 75 years, and it's really important that we stop and consider what we're doing here. Just a quick couple of things from some of our members. Based on case studies, we have run the draft ordinance. There's a potential to increase per lot cost by $20,000 to $50,000, reduce density by up to 40%, especially on 2 to 4 story infill sites, which we need desperately in the city. Eliminate the feasibility of missing middle housing, and push development out of the city. While they
speak, Greg Levine. We'll have up to 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, Council. Greg Levine, Executive Director of Choose Atlanta. So, in the last 2 years, the data that was shown before it stopped with the city of Atlanta showed that we're losing tree canopy twice as fast as the previous 2 years before that. So we're definitely losing canopy quickly. And the 89-page ordinance included, what we heard before, included all the deletions and add-ons, so it's not an 89-page or whatever page ordinance that was said before. I guess what happens every time, and I've worked on the tree ordinances now for 25, 30 years, this happens every single time. We ask the development community for suggestions on preserving canopy and development and having development, and they wait until it's close to being passed. And I know Howard's seen this many times. They say, oh, we can't do this for a million different reasons. But where were they when all the we were asking for the advice on how to preserve our canopy? Because we are losing it, and Atlanta is going to suffer from it, and the people that live here will suffer from it. Heat deaths are the #1 weather-related death in America, and the poor are the ones that die from extended heat. Without canopy, we have a hot city. Again, we need to stop kicking the can, fix any minor revisions that need to be made in this ordinance, and pass this ordinance this month, and get on with building the city and preserving our trees and making sure that we still have canopy for everyone that lives here, and not just have canopy for the wealthier parts of the city. Poor people need trees too. Everyone needs trees for all their environmental reasons. We can't just have canopy being preserved in neighborhoods that can afford it. So the last thing we heard from Habitat, that 30% matters for them as well, for people that live in houses where only houses they can afford. Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Nathaniel Dyer. You have up to 2 minutes.
Hello, I'm here to speak on the partnership with Invest Atlanta. You all know it. I feel like it's an assault on the community, the seniors. I'll just read you some of this. The initiative led by Invest Atlanta in partnership with the city targets rising property tax burdens that are displacing legacy residents in historically stable neighborhoods. Now, if the neighborhood is stable, the partnership seems like it's going to impact that stability. New development throughout Atlanta has driven up property values and in turn property taxes. According to Invest Atlanta, homeowners with a homestead exemption have seen an average property tax increase of 31% over the past 5 years. So the question is, where have they been? Where have you all been to allow it to get to that point on legacy residents and seniors? And you see, there they are talking again, the most disrespectful, Boone and Overstreet. You know, can you swap chitlin recipes later and pay attention? Back to what I was saying. And you see, that's why you are jumping into partnerships, and the result is poor. Here, to qualify, the applicant must be 60 years old. Now, of course, they're saying that they'll kick it back to when maybe last year. But it's been 5 years since these people have been hit. Well, I say us, the residents, have been hit with rising property taxes. In 20 years, that's how long it's supposed to last. Here's my suggestion. You have it open from May the 1st to the 31st. We need to expand that. We need better outreach, roll it back 5 years. And then the question is, okay, if they're paying $50,000, I say, because there's $10 million, will the government own the home or will it go back to the family? And finally, do a better job. You put all this money into a stitch, but the person says that these people are the fabric of the community. Let's do a better job for our seniors. Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Monica Ivory.
I have been here earlier. This is for the have-nots that have not stayed. This is the water. This is water have not been over. This is the water that's coming out of my unit now. I guess you know I use bottled water for everything. I've heard of them flipping houses for money and everything, but I've never heard of them flipping units until today's day, as the young people would say. I was today's day year old. And literally, I just heard this morning because I was here at the 11 o'clock meeting. I wanted to start all the time. I was here at the 11 o'clock meeting. And I just find out that they're flipping units now, and then continue to let them be filtered. They come in here and they find them, but when you find them, when it's time to do some work, they've already flipped it and sold it to somebody else. And here we go in the same situation. And I just moved there. I'm a senior from a high rise. Thought I was being sucked in. I've never had any sickness or any illness. This is what I'm on now. Okay? I am breathing this stuff, and literally you might as well have a doctor's excuse saying I should be out of this. Mind you, this is my second one. And like I say, this is for the have-nots. I don't know where this is gonna go from where I've just talked with my Councilman Amos. I'm not putting him under the bus because from my understanding, this is a small world. I just found out that he's just taking over somebody's position for some reason or another. That's none of my concern, but it's a small world. So when I made a call later, that's what I found out. So y'all are getting put under the bus for things that's already been messed up and did, and now you're at ground zero back again, and nothing's gonna be done about it. So I just wanted to come in and say something about it. But Mr. Amos, he assured me that he'll be on the property and things, but I have to assure myself, like I just did and came in here, and trying to rectify some of my issues. I can't speak for nobody else and where everybody else living, but I'm living under a commode. I'm living on top of a commode, on top of a toilet that I don't know what's in that, that's what's in the tub, and feces and everything. And nobody's doing anything about it. That's my water.
Thank you. Councilor Amos.
Yes, sir. I want to say thank you to Ms. Ivory for coming back after doing.
Hold on just a second. Let's get your mic on.
Just want to say thank you, Jeff, for coming back. We did not know they was flipping the units. About 10 to 15 years ago, this apartment complex was allowed to sell individual units as condos. So just late last year, we had about 16 owners of those individual condos and housing court together, in which it was court mandated to do some things. Some of them sold, some of them did not, but yes, we will be back out there. This is an ongoing issue, and we're looking to resolve it, so thank you for coming back.
Next will be Nikki Bugs. We'll have up to 2 minutes.
All right, let's talk about fiduciary responsibility. Fiduciary responsibility is a legal and obligation for one party, fiduciary, to act in the best interest of another party, the principal is a beneficiary, prioritizing the principal's interest over their own, even when it might benefit them personally. So welcome to the Landmark Condominiums. We are upside down with homeowners versus the investors, and as this lady shared as well, they are actually flipping units faster than you can flip pancakes on the grill. In reference to the remaining homeowners, the Landmark Condominiums were being terrorized with the permission in plain sight for fiduciary irresponsibility. This is something we've been fighting for a while, something I've been talking about for a while. It has been years. We had a homeowner, Judy Clemens, that died fighting this cause. This is unacceptable at this point. The key elements of fiduciary responsibility: trust and good faith, and acting in principal's best interest, duty and loyalty, duty of care, and obedience in accordance with the law. Now, it really, I'm going to just say something here, it's a little funky to me, forgive the bad language, but it tells me that if I tell you I'm going to get an office or I'm going to get in a position, I'm looking out for your best interest. It's ultimately what I'm saying. And you bring me in. In this case, this is not the case. These people are continuously moving on with the business. They had Councilwoman Liliana Bakhtari went ahead and spoke with them on March 25th. regarding some actions that they expelled the foreman, said they were trying to do better in the building, security, what have you. They did not. So she was generous enough to go ahead and check them, which was fantastic because it needed to happen, and the building is still unsecure. The new security system that they have, the doors are all busted. We have people that are walking up and down our hallway. We have doorbell cameras, so I have a plethora of people walking by my unit that I don't know who they are. Most of them are just coming up the stairwells and getting into the building. I'm sorry, I hear your bell. I'll be done in a second. So we're grateful to her for speaking up for us. Please do something, and not even enough to just get them out of the building. They need to get out of the building. They have got to go. That is it. Airbnb and the entire state needs to be online. Thank you.
Councilwoman Bakhtiari.
It's on, okay, great. Nikki, thank you. I wanted to take a moment to say that it has come to my attention that thanks to you all and our pushing in that council meeting, that it seems unilaterally collective action is now happening on the STR platforms in Landmark with Airbnb. So with some of the short-term rentals, so I'm keeping on top of that. And I would love it because HOAs were preempted by the state on HOAs, and what is happening there is how someone that doesn't live in the building but runs a business on the first floor is able to profit by staying the head of the HOA when they don't actually live there is crazy to me. So I would like to work with you all now for raising this up to our state representatives, who I have reached out to, but we need to reach out to them repeatedly apparently. So I think if we band together to do that, we can start working at the state on the HOA issues that are here, because I don't know what is happening. And also for the record, for them to continue trying to sue or raise the prices on you all for the fire that we know originated out of their office is ridiculous to me, and I will continue calling attention to that. And in addition, the fact that these owners that are now the head of the HOA that have been doing these constructions and taking over entire floors and pushing you all out is now suing, I believe, for the residents for defamation or for libel, which I find it surprising that now they are doing that, given that there is momentum against the actions they've taken against the residents. So to me, that is an admittance of guilt. So I'm going to leave it there. I am not done with the landmark. We are not done with the landmark. Housing is a human right, and the treatment of the residents currently at the landmark is unacceptable. So we will keep on it, and I thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Margie McLeod. Up to 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. I know I'm back and I don't have a t-shirt on, and because people think that they need assistance for rent, and I'm still saying rent control, but I'm saying now rent control matters, because y'all cost of living, that's why y'all got an increase in your salary, because you would not be able to afford housing in the city of Atlanta. So how about the employee get an increase in their salary? How about the police? Because cost of living, how people can afford housing in the city of Atlanta? They're pricing us out. But Overstreet, in your community also, and you don't answer your phone, Overstreet. A lot of people call me and tell me you're not returning your phone call because they ask you about having House Bill 581. Your community wants you to have a town hall meeting, but I'm not gonna go through that, but you're running for the president of the city council. So communication means a lot. Y'all here, y'all sick, people is hurting out there. And I thought I would retire, but I didn't, because people calling me. It's a need. The solution is you have to put a cap on the rent, because we are not going to be able to stay in the community. Also, the seniors also. So you sit here and you talk, people looking at you on the street, and you in room. I never call you out, but I am. Give the people respect. That's all they're asking you. And just like today, y'all got in count the solution, because you don't have enough afford. I'm not low-income housing. So you want to send them out of the county? That's not going to solve anything. more people gonna be coming to you. The problem you got
Time is
to
expired.
do, put a cap on the rent, because you can do it. You do everything else. You did that Senate Bill 58, Home Bill 581.
Time is expired.
Have a blessed day, but we need rent control in Atlanta.
Councilman Overstreet.
Thank you, President Shipman. Ms. McLeod, that's simply not true. We don't miss phone calls or emails in my office. That's not true.
Overstreet, I'm not gonna argue with you, because I will bring the people down here, and they will say that. They call me Overstreet. Yeah, that's not true. You say you email. Her name, I give you the name.
Ms. McLeod, your time is expired.
We answer the phone. 404-330-6054.
You do not return phone calls.
Yes, I do.
Your people do, but I have to come down next.
So it's a team. It's a team.
They tell me, they call me.
It is a team. I definitely
You
am
do not follow
responsible to. Yes, I am.
That's all. Is it my, I need
I'm
to
responsible to you.
Next is Jody W. Go to 2 minutes.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to speak, and I'm back with concerns for the homeless. You all have women and children, working women and children in the shelters with nowhere to live, and then our mayor is giving this money to investors. What happened to caring about the people? You have over 500 women and children at the Mission off of Howell Mill Road. You're constantly saying that you're taking care of these people when you're not even calling them back or acknowledging that they need a place to live. So I'm still asking for a budget on what happened to the monies for the homeless people. I hear that you all are putting them out, the people that's on the streets, living under the bridges, sending them to jail. You didn't even get a bus or a van to help them move their tents. I was told that you were bulldozing their properties, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Anytime a mayor goes against the people, what is he thinking? The people put you in there, and when you put them all out of the city, there's no one that's going to vote for you, city council members. And I ask you guys to consider these homeless people and take some of that money and build something for them. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Next will be Minister Breeslove.
Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I had so much to tell you all today, but then it touched my heart about Valerie. People, we gotta get better. You all looking at her, knowing that she's hurting, but you yet will not obey. The Lord is not pleased with this. We gotta come together as a people. I'm a great-grandmother. You know how I feel? You all should feel the same thing. You got children, grandchildren. One day you're going to get older and be older. You got to feel the needs of people. And as I was driving into the city, I don't live in the city anymore because I got fed up. I moved with my family, and they take care of me well. But the thing is this, as I was driving into the city, and I saw how the city trucks was throwing the trash and people, beddings and all over the, and which is good to clean up the city, no problem. But where are you gonna put the people? I had a young lady ran up to my car, she began to cry all over me. She don't know where she's going, and this city has received a lot of money for the homeless. Do y'all understand that Donald Trump gonna research your records? He gonna find out. I heard this morning where he opened up prison to bring people to put them in jail. You don't want to go to jail, people. You want to do what's right. God has given us the ability to get well, and we can do it the right way. I love you all, and God bless and be with you and your families. Wake up, people. Love one another. God bless you.
Thank you. Next will be Kate Shanky. Shanky, thank you. You have up to 2 minutes.
Thank you. I am here to pull up my notes because I'm not much of a public speaker. I'm here to support Resolution 3328 in regards to Georgia State Patrol's chase policies. Georgia State Patrol was involved in 6,700 pursuits over 5 years. Sorry, thank you. Half ended in accidents, about a tenth in death, with not much oversight as to how they pursue, when they pursue. There was a high-speed chase on the 14th of this month, last month, that killed my son. It happened 2 miles from I-20 on Moreland Avenue in the heart of Little Five Points at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. at night. Heavily populated area, again, 2 miles from where this officer first attempted to pull her over. In that 2 miles, there are about 12 traffic lights. They keep saying she ran one red light and hit on. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Moreland Avenue, and maybe going 80 miles an hour, you hit all the green lights. But there's no way that this was one time in a heavily populated area with the Edgewood Shopping Center there, Memorial in Moreland. And I understand the weight of their job, but there needs to be some oversight when they're not on someone who's not just laser focused on ending this crash. There's no other option for this sort of chase except a crash. And the crash is in Little Five Points. It could have been at Freedom Parkway. It could have been on Potts and Briarcliff. It could have been a family going to Target. But 80 miles an hour down that road, heavily populated, it's not the first time this has happened. I'd love it to be the last. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Graziano?
Hey, it's Cooper. Katie, I'm proud to have called your family constituents, and I know how many people in our community have praised you. And I also know that your family's no stranger to loss, and I just have to really, like watching you and your daughter go through this and actually lift all of us up for this loss instead of the other way around has been really extraordinary to witness. And I wanted to take this moment to draw attention to what you created. I'm going to leave it up there for anyone who's interested, but Katie and her family are already working to try to change policies at the state. And Cooper's loss should never happen again, and never should happen in the first place. I just wanted to continue to call attention to what y'all are working on. Sure.
I do hold the woman that was driving 100% accountable. Those were her actions. But there are also actions that could have prevented this.
Thank you.
That's all.
Councilor Lewis?
Our system of policing has been very aggressive in our area, and just to see that never should happen. And sometimes I actually see APD chasing young folks down the street. So if it's not a murder, if it's not a robbery or a rape that just happened, why are we doing that for some of the stuff that is going on. So every condolences in the world to your family, every prayer I can to your family. But we have to stop this. You know what we're doing. We got to stop chasing these. We have to stop. It's been going on forever. And they say that APD doesn't do it. They do it down Cleveland Avenue. We see it. We see it. We see them drive down the street chasing people. And so let's stop it completely.
Thank you, Councilor Bakhtiari.
Just real quick, thank you, Councilmember Lewis. I want to make sure people know that this was Georgia State Patrol and that we are going to do everything we can to change their policies and advocate for that. So I do want to appreciate it. I do appreciate the remarks, although APD does have a no pursuit policy in the city, but I just wanted to name that this is Georgia State Patrol and these high-speed chases are incredibly dangerous. So thank you.
Finally today, Scott Fleming, we'll have up to 2 minutes.
Thank you, Council, for your support of Kate today. My name is Scott Fleming. I'm a resident of Canada Park. I live a block away from Moreland Avenue in the heart of Oak Park. We've heard from many strong women today, many loving mothers, this close to Mother's Day. And I find it poetic that City Council celebrated motherhood and commended strong women earlier today that have helped brought life into this world. I'm here today to support strong women. I'm here to speak for mothers. It's fortunate the City Council has another opportunity today to support our mothers with Resolution 3328 to reform the Georgia State Patrol Pursuit Policy. This past weekend, as I walked across Moreland to lay fresh flowers at Cooper's Memorial, I reflected how a revision to this policy that has proven successful in other states can help our law enforcement better serve our communities and better protect our loved ones. Thank you.
I want to thank all members of the public who came to speak today. We will now move to the report of the Journal. Madam Clerk.
Good afternoon, Council President, members of Council. I, Corinne A. Window, Municipal Clerk of the City of Atlanta, do hereby certify that the minutes of the regular meeting held on Monday, April 21st, 2025 were true and correct.
If there are no changes or edits to the minutes, I would entertain a motion to adopt the Journal. Moved by Councilman Winston, seconded by Councilman Bishop. Is there any discussion on the motion to adopt the Journal? We can do this unanimous consent without objection. Any objection? Madam Clerk, please sound the count of unanimous consent on the motion to adopt the Journal.
12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to adopt the Journal carries. Next, we move to communications. Madam Clerk.
First item, Mr. President, is 25C0057. This is a communication from Mayor Andre Dickens appointing Mr. Ricky Smith to serve as a member of the Aviation General Manager for the City of Atlanta. Staff recommendation to refer to Transportation Committee and Committee on Council.
Let the item follow that course.
Mr. President, if I may take items 2 and 3 as a block.
Please proceed.
Item number 2 is 25C0058. This is a communication from Council members Leanna Bakhtiari, District 5, Alex 1, District 6, and Matt Westmoreland, Post 2 at Large, reappointing Ms. Roseanne Maltese to serve as a member of the Water and Sewer Appeals Board. This appointment is for a term of 2 years to begin retroactively on March 4th, 2025, and expire March 3rd, 2027. Item number 3 is 25C0059. This is a communication from Mayor Andre Dickens, appointing Mr. James Greg Gurley to serve as Commissioner of the Department of Watershed Management for the City of Atlanta. Staff recommendation for both items is to refer to City Utilities Committee and Committee on Council.
Let both items follow that course.
If I may take item 4, 5, and 6 as a block.
Please proceed.
Item number 4 is 25C0060. This is a communication from Tony Roberts, Executive Director and CEO of the Atlanta Bar Association, submitting the appointment of Mr. Miguel Dominez to serve as a member of the Atlanta Citizen Review Board. This appointment is for a term of 3 years. Item number 5 is 25C0061. This is a communication from Lyndon Waller, Deputy Director, Georgia Coalition for the People's Agenda, submitting the appointment of Ms. Angetta Jordan Estes to serve as a member of the Atlanta Citizen Review Board. This appointment is for a term of 3 years. Item number 6 is 25C0060. This is a communication from Mayor Andre Dickens, appointing Mr. Byron Gibbs to serve as a member of the License Review Board. This appointment is for a term of 2 years. For all these three items, staff recommendation to refer to Public Safety and Legal Administration Committee and Committee on Council.
Let all three items follow that course.
Mr. President, if I may take items 7, 8, and 9 as a block.
Please proceed.
Item number 7 is 25C0063. This is a communication from Daniel Hampton, Chair Audit Committee, submitting the performance audit report, paid administrative leave. Item number 8 is 25C0064. A communication from Daniel Hampton, Chair Audit Committee, submitting their performance audit report, service delivery, and remote work. Item number 9 is 25C0065. This is a communication from Daniel Hampton, Chair Audit Committee, submitting the performance audit report, timelessness of payments. For all three items, the staff recommendation to refer to Finance Executive Committee.
Let all three items follow that course.
Item number 10 is 25C0066. This is a communication from Council Members Dustin Hillis, District 9, Andrea L. Boone, District 10, Marcia Kohler Overstreet, District 11, Antonia Lewis, District 12, and Isha Collins, Post 3 at Large, appointing Ms. Erica Smith to serve as a member of the Artificial Intelligence Commission. Staff recommendation to accept and file.
Let the item follow that course.
That concludes the communication items, Mr. President.
Thank you. Is there any vetoed legislation for consideration?
There are none.
Thank you. There are two items of unfinished business. We'll begin with 25O1163. This was tabled by Councilmember Westmoreland's motion. So I will ask Councilmember Westmoreland to see where we are with this.
I am unaware of any ability of this paper to move forward. I'm happy to make a motion that it continue to be held in the rest of council.
This
This is 1163, right?
We are on 25O1163.
I'll make a motion to continue to table.
There's a motion to hold in the rest of council 25O-1163 by Councilmember Westmoreland. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilmember Juan. This is not debatable. It takes a 2/3 because we're on the second round, so we'll move directly to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to hold in the rest of council 25O-1163.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? Will everyone please vote? The vote's closed. 12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays, the motion carries. Councilmember Overstreet, do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. We requested for this to be amended to add districts 10 and 11. That's in here? Dog. Okay, so we just voted to hold. Should we amend it first?
No, we voted to hold the 1163, then 3294 is coming up next.
Got it. That's not what my screen says. Okay, good.
Okay, so 1163 is held in the rest of council. Next up on the unfinished business is 25R3294. This was a item that was tabled by Councilman Winston. So
Thank you,
Councilman
Council
Winston,
President.
I'm going to ask you where we are with this item.
Thank you. I am going to turn it over to Councilman Dozier, who has an amendment.
Okay. Councilman Dozier.
Thank you, Chairman Winston. Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, as was alluded to earlier, there is a substitute hearing box for this particular item. The item currently, as written, is a donation in the amount of $450,000 to In-Town Cares. The language of the substitute essentially splits that amount up over 2 fiscal cycles, with the first fiscal year contribution being $145,000, and then the second one for fiscal year 2026 being $308,000. The other change that was alluded to by my colleague, Councilman Overstreet, is that as an additional vehicle, a resolve clause with the following language, that any additional funds donated to In-Town Care should be used to fund the case management program in Council District 10 and Council District 11 as authorized in 2023. So that's the substance of the substitute, and I would like to make a motion to adopt that substitute.
Second. There's a motion by Councilmember Dozier, seconded by Councilmember Faroki to bring forth a substitute for 25R3294. Everybody has this in their mailboxes. So I would ask, is there any discussion on the motion to bring forth the substitute? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to bring forth the substitute.
The vote is open. One moment. One moment. That's 12 yeas, 0 nays, Mr. President. We're
12 yeas, 0 nays, the motion to bring forth the substitute carries. We now have the substitute before us. I believe the caption does not change, correct, Councilmember Dozier? Okay. So there's now 25R3294 as substitute is before us. Councilmember Faroki?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Take a motion to approve, seconded by Councilmember Amos. Any discussion on the vote on the, Councilmember Dozier second, I'm sorry. Councilmember Faroki to move, Councilmember Dozier second. Is there any discussion on the motion to adopt 24R3294 as substituted? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote's closed. 12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays, the motion to adopt a substitute carries. We will now move to the consent agenda, section 1. These are items that begin on page 6 of the printed materials. They are all items for second reading, therefore the appropriate motion will be to adopt. But first, let me ask, are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda, section 1 today? Councilmember Amos.
Item number 25-0-1188, item 32 on page 15.
$25-1188. Any other items to be removed from the consent agenda, section 1? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adopt the consent agenda with one item removed. Moved by Councilor Bakhtiari, seconded by Councilor Juan. Any discussion on the motion to adopt the consent agenda with one item removed? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt the consent agenda with one item removed.
One moment. One moment. Will everyone please vote? Yeas, 0 nays?
12 yeas, 0 nays, the motion to adopt as with one item removed carries. Councilmember Shook.
Thank you. Thank you, pursuant to a request by the Department of Finance. I would like to
Hold on. We get Councilmember Shook's mic on.
Department of Finance has asked that I send the following 5 items from the consent report to the Mayor's Office post haste. They are 25-0-1210, 25-0-1211, 25O1212, 25R3286, and 25R3291. That is my motion.
Councilmember Shook is moving 5 items to be moved post haste to the mayor's office. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilor Juan. Any discussion on the motion to move these 5 items post haste? We can do this via unanimous consent without objection. Any objection? Madam Clerk, please sound the count on unanimous consent on the motion to move these items post haste.
12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to move post haste carries. Next, we will move to the consent agenda section 2. These are items that begin on page 40 of the printed materials. They are items for first reading, therefore the appropriate motion would be to refer. But first, let me ask, are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda section 2? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to refer. Moved by Councilor Juan, seconded by Councilor Bakhtiari. Any discussion on the motion to refer the consent agenda section 2? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to refer.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote's closed. 12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. Motion to refer carries. We will now move to a report of standing committees. First up today will be Finance Exec, Chair Shook.
Thank you. We have 2 items, first of which is a communication 25C0041. This would be a communication from Daniel Hampton, Chair of the Audit Committee, submitting the performance audit report on Oracle time and labor. My motion is to accept and file.
Motion coming out of committee to accept and file 25C0041. It does not need a second. Any discussion on the motion to accept and file this item? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to accept and file.
The vote is open.
Who is yes?
It's 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to accept and file carries.
All right, and then we have 25O1213. This comes forward favorable on condition of receiving a substitute. It's a council carried forward refresh paper that needed the appropriate account data plugged in. You have received the substitutes. I will move to bring it forward.
There's a motion by Councilor Shook to bring forth the substitute for 25O1213, seconded by Councilor Juan. Is there any discussion on the motion to bring forth the substitute? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to bring forth the substitute.
One moment. The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote's closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to bring forth the substitute carries.
All right, thank you. The caption's unchanged. Let me sound it. This would be an ordinance by Shook authorizing the transfer of funds from various council carry forward accounts to the respective council distribution and expense accounts to continue serving the Atlantic community by funding projects for the public good within their district or donating funds for charitable purposes and for other purposes. Move approval on substitute.
It's a motion by Shook, seconded by Juan to adopt 25O1213 as substituted. Any discussion on the motion to adopt this item? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt as substituted.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays, the motion to adopt substitute carries.
That is all.
Thank you. Next up will be the Committee on Council, Chair Collins.
Yes, so we, if there, for the Committee on Council, if there are no objections from the body, we would like to take items 1 through 7 as a block.
The objection? Please proceed.
Alrighty, so, communications 25-C-00341, communication from Mayor Andre Dickens appointing Ms. Candace Franklin to serve as a member of the Fulton County Library System on behalf of the city of Atlanta. The term limit is to be concurrent with that of the mayor. Item 25-C-00452, a communication from council members Dustin Hillis, District 9, Andrea Boone, District 10, and Isha Collins, myself, Post 3 at Large, appointing Ms. Arlisha McMichael to serve as a member of the Water and Sewer Appeals Board. This appointment is for a term of 3 years. Item number 25-C-00493, communication from Tony Roberts, Executive Director and CEO of the Atlanta Bar Association, submitting the appointment of Ms. Gabriella Cole to serve as a member of the Ethics Board. This appointment is for a term of 3 years as well. Item 25-C-00514, a communication from Council Member Marcy Carrier Overstreet, District 11, reappointing Ms. Jacqueline Sims to serve as a member of the Commission on Aging. This appointment is for a term of 4 years to begin retroactively on October 1st, 2022 and expire September 30th, 2026. Item number 25-C-00525, a communication from Sajira Jones, President, Atlanta Planning Advisory Board, also known as APAB, submitting the reappointment of Ms. Corrine Dent to serve as a member of the Atlanta Beltline Tax Allocation District Advisory Committee. This appointment is for a term of 2 years. Item number 25-C-00536, a communication from Sajira Jones, President, Atlanta Planning Advisory Board, submitting the appointment of Ms. Barbara Lee to serve as a member of the Keep Atlanta Beautiful Commission. This appointment is for a term of 2 years. And item 25-C-00557, a communication from Mayor Andre Dickens appointing Ms. Angela Bowers to serve as a member of the City of Atlanta Americans with Disability Act Advisory Committee. All of these items have come before the Committee of Council with favorable recommendations, and the recommendation is to adopt.
There's a motion coming out of the committee to adopt these 7 items. It does not need a second. Is there any discussion on the motion to adopt these items? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt these 7 items.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays, the motion to adopt these items carries.
Great. This brings us to our regular agenda item, starting with item number 8, which is ordinance number 25-0-1204, an ordinance by Councilmember Michael Julian Bond to amend the City of Atlanta's Recreation Studies Commission, established by Resolution 23-R-4351, and to modify its membership and remove the sunset date and for other purposes. This, our recommendation is to adopt.
Motion coming out of committee to adopt 25-0-1204. It doesn't need a second. Any discussion on the motion to adopt this item? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt.
The vote is open.
The next item that we have,
Will everyone please vote? Vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays, the motion to adopt carries.
our next item is resolution, item number 25-R-3324, a resolution by the Committee on Council appointing 2 members of City Council to positions on the Budget Commission to be filled by two members of this governing body nominated and confirmed by the governing body at large for a one-year term for the purposes of performing the duties and responsibilities of the commission in connection with the fiscal year 2026 budget for the city of Atlanta and for other purposes. We have forwarded this with no recommendation, and this item comes before the body with no recommendation. My colleagues, we will need to substitute this item on the floor to add the names of the members of the body who will serve as members on the Budget Commission. If no members have been nominated, then we'll need to conduct a ballot vote at this time.
I believe that we will conduct a ballot vote unless there are nominations. Councilmember Shook?
All right, I am aware that Mr. One and Mr. Dozier graciously offered to serve in that capacity, and so I will nominate those two.
There's a nomination by Councilmember Shook for Councilmembers Juan and Dozier. Are there any other nominations heard from the floor? All right. Then Chair Collins?
Yes, President Shipman,
would substitute?
Yes, absolutely. Would like to make a motion to substitute item number 25-R-3324 to reflect a resolution by Committee on Council appointing Council members Alex One and Council member Jason Dozier to the two positions on the Budget Commission to be filled by this governing body and confirmed by the governing body for at-large for a one-year term. For the purposes of performing the duties and responsibilities of the commission in connection with the FY 2026 budget for the city of Atlanta and for other purposes.
There's a motion by Councilmember Collins to bring forth a substitute reflecting Juan and Dozier to serve in these positions. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilmember Bakhtiari. I'm just going to take a point of personal privilege. Is Councilmembers Juan and Dozier okay with this? Okay. Just so we don't get too far out of whack. Is there any discussion on the motion to bring forth the substitute? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Madam Clerk, please. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to bring forth the substitute.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. Motion to bring forth the substitute carries. Since this came forward without a recommendation, I'll need you to move it.
Okay, and so now I will move to approve item number 25-R-3324.
There's a motion by Councilmember Collins to adopt 25-R-3324 as substitute. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Overstreet. Any discussion on the motion to adopt a substitute? Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt a substitute.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to adopt as substitute carries. Councilmember Chair Collins, anything else today?
No, Mr. President, that ends my report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up will be the zoning committee. I believe that Vice Chair Hillis presided. So, Vice Chair Hillis.
First item is 24-0-1022 U23-26, 1492 Piedmont Avenue Northeast, Suite B. The ordinance is for a special use permit for outdoor dining at eating and drinking establishments, and also without objection, we'll take the items together if they're both to be filed. Next item is 24-0-1198 Z-24-15, 1101 Moreland Drive Southeast, and 1721 Woodland Avenue Southeast. The ordinance is to rezone from R4 single-family residential to MR2 multifamily residential. The recommendation of the committee is to file those two items.
So there's a motion coming out of committee to file both 24-0-10-22 and 24-0-11-98. It does not need a second. Is there any discussion on the motion to file these two items? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to file.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to file these items carries.
I've been asked to deal with one held item, so I'll make a motion to enter committee of the whole.
There's a motion by Councilman Hillis to enter committee of the whole. There's a second by Councilman Lewis. Any discussion on the motion to move in committee of the whole? We do this via unanimous consent without objection. Any objection? Madam Clerk, please sound the count on unanimous consent on the motion to move in committee of the whole.
13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion carries. We're now in committee of the whole. Vice Chair Hillis.
Thank you. The held item to deal with is 24-0-1709, Z-24-90, 3260 Catameric Drive Southeast, 913 Hutchins Road, and 895 Hutchins Road Southeast. The ordinance is to rezone from PDH, Plan Development Housing, to PDH, Plan Development Housing for a major site plan amendment. I will make a motion to amend.
There's a motion to amend by Councilmember Hillis, 24-0-1709. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Shook. Did you talk about the amendment?
Council members have received an email with the amendment. It's just a change in the conditions that was previously discussed at the ZRB hearing.
Any discussion on the motion to amend? I'll give everybody a moment to make sure that they have it in their boxes. All right, Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to amend 24-0-1709.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to amend carries.
I'll make a motion to approve as amended.
One final. Can I make a motion to add one final amendment to this one sentence? Because after speaking with the zoning department, the law department, and my colleagues, there's one sentence that I wanted to add to this at the top. And
So, Councilmember
to
Hillis.
the, after speaking to the
Councilmember
zoning
Lewis,
department,
Councilmember Lewis,
to be
hold on just a
specific.
second. Councilmember Hillis, would you withdraw your motion to adopt? Go
I
ahead.
withdraw my motion, but I would like to hear from the law department.
And after speaking to the zoning department and colleagues about a sentence that we wanted to do, after discussing with the law department as well. Go.
Good afternoon, Amber A. Robinson, State Atlanta Department of Law. The amendments as proposed that were, the council has just moved to adopt, to accept as an amendment, were confirmed to have already been before the zoning review board, and so therefore have had their public hearing. And the paper would be ready for adoption following those amendments. Any additional amendment would have to have the same confirmation that the ZRB has in fact had its public hearing considering that. So unfortunately, I do not have that information about the additional sentence, but that would be necessary to confirm to ensure that the ZRB has in fact had the public hearing on anything additional.
And I can respond to that. You've seen.
I just want to make certain that the record reflects what is the sentence.
Gotcha. Thank you. So that way, because the ZRB have seen and the zoning review board has seen it. That sentence, it makes this a stronger legislation sent to us from the zoning board, from the zoning department. This site shall be developed in accordance with the site plan entitled Hutchins Road, prepared by Gaskins and LaCroix, dated February 4, 2025, and stamped, received, and amended by the Office of Zoning and Development on February 4, 2025. Minor changes to the approved site plan may be authorized by the Director of the Office of Zoning and the Development in accordance with Section 16-02.003 in parentheses 7, and reason being to make it to where this legislation, this site can't be changed without coming back to the department, coming back to the city of Atlanta. And this makes it a stronger piece of legislation for us in the community that I actually live in.
Okay, so just procedurally, you're moving to amend with that sentence?
Yes.
So let's go ahead and make that motion to amend with that sentence. I'll come back to law in just a second. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a second? Seconded by Councilman Westmoreland. Okay. So, is there a way to email that to your colleagues, Councilman Lewis?
Yes, there is.
Thank you. So, let's move to discussion on the motion to amend Councilman Westmoreland.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is my not only understanding, but I'm looking at 24-0-1709, which has been held in the zoning committee for I don't know how long. The sentence that Mr. Lewis just read was on the list of conditions that we just amended. So I'm proactively attempting to say that it's my understanding that it would have gone before the ZRB because it was on the conditions list that has been held in committee, if that